here's what we're dealing with now. This is behavior where you put your hands around somebody's neck and squeezes. That's only one thing. That is an attempt to kill. That's what it is. You don't choke somebody, especially someone you claim you love.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We've got 3 cases. 2 of these are new.
Yes.
Then we have the older case, which is the motion to revoke probation. The defendant has pleaded true back in November, last month, to committing the offense of assault causing bodily injury. And this is the assault that is alleged in this indictment, the 3rd-degree felony of assault, family violence by choking.
Yes, sir.
He didn't plead guilty to that substantive charge. It's just through to the allegation number 5 in the second amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation. And all right, we had ordered, and the probation office was kind enough earlier to have a pre-sentence investigation updated report on the defendant's issue of revocation in this case, which was dated November 22nd, 2024, as a part of this case for all purposes of sentencing. All right, the defendant is looking at a 2nd-degree felony of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So he's looking at no less than 2, no more than 20 years confinement in prison, and a fine up to, well, fine is not really relevant here. And the indictment that the defendant was on probation for, this aggravated assault, included the use of a deadly weapon, namely an automobile.
Correct.
All right. That wipes out regular probation as an option from this court. All right. I'm going to allow people to summarize what your positions are. State can go, then the defense, and then the state can offer a rebuttal if necessary.
Judge, Mr. Jones just has a history of abusing the women he's in a relationship with. He just, even while he's on probation for one offense involving one, he's committing another offense involving another lady. And I look at the probation's updated, and I hate to disagree with recommendations of the probation office, but I do in this case, and I do so respectfully, because I looked at the original pre-sentence report and the defendant's version, where he tells the court that he's going to do excellent on probation. Said I am just happy to be able to start over again. I hate that my kids see me in jail. I want to raise my kids like I was in a church and loving home. And then he goes and commits another offense, runs from the cops, chokes a lady that he's in a relationship with. And I just worry that his promises are just nothing but empty promises.
You missed the last sentence. I want to raise my kids like I was in church and a loving home.
Yes.
All those were wonderful words. That's not what I see in action, though. All of those are empty promises.
Just part of our job in doing justice is justice for the victims in these cases and protecting the public from people who just don't seem to get it. And the only way he's going to get it is if he has got more of a sanction than he's been getting. And I think he needs to be incarcerated. I think he needs to be placed in prison for the 6 years on the cap that I've given him, and ask that not only that, but that affirmative finding of a deadly weapon be placed in the judgment.
Mr. Samuel, on behalf of the defense.
Yes, Your Honor. We understand that the court has given Mr. Jones a second chance. We believe that if you look at what has happened and the sequence in which it happened, there's something more. We believe that there's a cognitive issue, one that deals with his inability to adequately deal with the stress that he's presented. And he made attempts to resolve that issue from his own assessment by way of getting counseling through a doctor online that gave him a prescription that we believe contributed to the episode. If you will notice, in the sequence of events, it's been a sequence of episodes, 2 episodes. Well, 2 after he had been placed on probation. And we believe that with adequate help outside, he can get that help. Now, he's been in jail for 4 months, and he initially wanted a bond. And as we discussed his issues, He said he realized he does have an issue in dealing with anxiety and stress. And that's what has led to the episodes, the 2 episodes that we see here. We believe that given the opportunity, he's accepted the fact that he needs mental health assistance. His family has contacted Spin on Top, and he's willing to go and get help in dealing with the stress and anxieties that he experienced. Now, I understand that there has to be some atonement for his actions. He's been in jail for 4 months. If given another opportunity to get professional help and he's successful with that, then that in itself would be the consequences of his actions. And he knows that in coming out, if he is allowed to remain on probation, he'd be facing a maximum of 20 years in prison. He understands
That's what he's facing now.
Yes, I understand. And so he understands that. And he understands that the only way he's going to get through this whole episode is by adhering. And he did show probation early on that he could adhere to the rules and conditions. And it was a result of the later episodes, but that's no excuse. We simply ask that he be allowed the opportunity to go back on probation, even if it requires, well, we believe it should be on the high risk, high to medium risk caseload. We believe he needs to go through the cognitive program of the batterer's intervention. And we believe he needs to have professional clinical help in getting through this at his own expense. His family is willing to help him with the expenses of getting a doctor that can guide him through this. And we believe this would be an adequate way of protecting the public and being allowed to do better for himself. I can talk about the responsibilities that he has in having 8 children.
That's right. This piece of
Black excellence.
who chokes females and runs from cops committing crimes while high on drugs has 8 children he is not paying for. And what's so brilliant about that is that for some reason his lawyer thought that it would be a good thing to let the judge know. This lawyer is a clown.
But that's an issue he has to deal with. But we believe the basic source of his issues rely in his inability to cognitively deal with the pressures and issues that he's experienced in his life. So we're asking that the court give him that opportunity to get the professional help, remain on the high caseload, and if need be, ISF, go through that program and give him that chance to prove himself. And with that, I'd like to ask Mr. Jones some questions.
Raise your right hand. Lower your hand.
Mr. Jones, we've counseled over the past couple of years. Is that correct? Yes, sir. And you heard some of my frustrations early on. Yes, sir. And we talked about it. We talked about your thought process in trying to get your help through yourself by getting some doctor online. Yes, sir. Okay. And you also understand that didn't work. Yes, sir. And you understand that there is a need for professional help, clinical professional help, yes, with the doctor. And you've already talked to Spin on Top. Yes, sir. And they are going to get you into a program there. So you do understand that there's a need for assistance. That's all I have, Your Honor.
What doctor gave this diagnosis?
I don't know the name of it. It was a lady doctor.
I have
No, I want to know what the diagnosis was. Since I'm looking at 2 doctors of jurisprudence, there's not a medical degree in this group. I want to know who is the person with the medical degree who did the analysis.
Matthew Brumberry.
Let me see. What do you have? Let me see.
This next bit is gold. This lawyer's whole defense strategy in getting his client the minimum is to use the mitigating factor that his client's criminal behavior was influenced by medication, which was prescribed by a medical professional in error. This is this lawyer's main tactic for this clown's defense. And now we are about to see how very, very dumb some lawyers can be.
Wait a second. This is an evaluation from the Texas Cannabis Clinic. We're getting an evaluation on his cognitive behavior from the cannabis clinic?
No, sir.
Lawyers, the only profession where you don't have to be a professional.
That's exactly what.
That's exactly what this is.
Your Honor, that is the mistake that I mentioned he made.
No, that is the mistake you made. Otherwise, you wouldn't have profited as a misdiagnosis from a medical professional. Just another clown in a suit.
That was
The
the
cannabis
mistake.
clinic, this is how much I give for the cannabis clinic. He's got cannabis issues.
Yes, sir. And that's,
Hold on. Who forced you at gunpoint to use marijuana?
Nobody.
Nobody. It's a free choice. You made the choice. Consistently, you made a choice, a free will choice. You get punished for making the wrong choices. When I hear something that shows he is under mental duress from a medical physician competent to make a diagnosis, let me know. Until then, it's a bad choice you made. It's been consistent. We warned you when we put you on probation in the first place. You had a cannabis issue then. You were in marijuana trouble. It's a free choice you made, like all illegal drugs. Even when somebody becomes addicted, they don't become addicted immediately. It's a series of bad choices, and you've had your hand slapped on it. Don't do that. Yet you go right back. Here's what we're dealing with now. This is behavior where when you put your hands around somebody's neck and squeezes, that's only one thing. That is an attempt to kill. That's what it is. You don't choke somebody, especially someone you claim you love, mother of your children, or some children, I guess. But you're here for, let's see, the underlying offense was assault with a deadly weapon. I mean, this was a car driven into another vehicle, right?
Yes.
Intentionally. And so which is a 4,000-pound missile being used as a deadly weapon. And luckily, people were not seriously injured or killed, and you were placed on probation for that. And now you are strangling this woman.
And Judge, there is one other thing I'd like to point out.
God.
Back in May
Hit me with it.
of 2021, he was ordered to enter and successfully complete the anger management program, and he did, and he still commits this offense even after that. And he still wants to go back to more of the same thing over and over.
Look, your arguments are being made but without substantive backing from a medical physician that claims he's got a mental disorder.
exactly. There are symptoms of,
You're a lawyer, not the physician, often.
I understand that.
Until I have a medical physician tell me otherwise, I've got 5,000 people who make bad mistakes on my watch. 5,000 people. And he's one of the 5,000. Some people are declared incompetent. Some people are even declared insane.
Mm-hmm.
Until I can get a declaration of that, people are assumed to be competent and sane. They're also expected to follow the rules unless they are unable to because of a mental disorder, a personality disorder, or otherwise mental disorder. Until such time as I see that is not an excuse for bad judgments and anger management problem. Everybody gets angry. And we all grew up with people like that. They'll have a hissy fit and stop. And it's silly. It's like a little child. You have not grown out of that. Little children do that. But we grow up, we mature, and we move on. Some people don't mature. Some people feel that for whatever their personality is, which is not a disorder, nobody being perfect, but issues you have to address that you have to deal with so that you're not a danger to others as well as yourself, which you haven't responsibly done. And you've got a responsibility. You got 8 children. So you quite naturally choked the mother after you tried to ram her on another occasion with a vehicle. And is it the same?
No,
It's not. It's a different person.
Different person. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Well, you've got 7 billion people left out there to harm, and we're not going to allow that. And your argument, it's on the record, but it's not supported by medical evidence.
He's been in custody for the past 4 months. Could
156 days.
Could that be a part of? We request that would be.
He gets credit for all time he has served in custody in connection with a charge like this. He gets credit for it, but he's looking at. I'm sorry, this is 2 to 20.
Yes, sir.
He's asked for 6 years in prison.
That's what the cap was on the agreement on the MTRP, but he still got the other 2 offenses.
And
there's an agreement that whatever sentence shall not exceed a cap of 6 years. So I have up to 6 years, 2 to 6 years, or continuing them on deferred or unadjudicated probation. Those are the only options I really have.
So with that option of 20 years, we're requesting that he be allowed back on probation with the order to have assessments by a clinical doctor.
That should have been done earlier. If if that's what you wanted to do, that should have been done earlier.
But he's been in jail and he didn't have
a doctor can be, you acquire a doctor, we can get him in there and they can analyze it.
Well,
is that what you want?
Yes.
Then we'll postpone this decision until such time that is done. I'll review it in 4 weeks.
Yes.
Got that much time to get a position that is a competent position to go and analyze and do a report.
Shall do that.
All right.
Thank you.
This is, you stay in custody. You're not getting out for Christmas with this behavior.
Look, it's 2 clowns staring into each other's eyes, wondering how in the hell their brilliant plan didn't work. Yes, it is staggering to think that they thought they has a shot with that strategy. You can probably tell I don't like lawyers much. I think it might be because the word lawyer is so similar sounding to the word liar, but it's probably got more to do with the people and families of those people, especially the ones that are innocent, put all of their trust in a stranger to guard and defend one of the most valuable things a person can ever have, their freedom. And liars, lawyers, know that they can do a half-assed job and know that the people that are trusting them to do a full-assed job don't know that one major fact. If the medical professionals out there put in the same effort as legal professionals, I believe that there would be a lot more dead. Until the next time, I'm off to feed a cat, run a bath and get butt naked, thinking of you. And if you are still here even now, then why not check out the case on screen now, as it's a doozy. And as you are doing so, think of me thinking of you, my subscribers. I love how you guys put up with me.